This time on Roadkill, we rescue a Junkyard 1957 Chevy after sitting in the dirt for 4 decades and take it right back to where it came from, the Junkyard.
If it breaks down one more time, I'm gonna leave it there.
Right about now, we are in beautiful but sweaty Kaufman, Texas, home of Flying Sparks Garage. And we are here because 5-acre, 12-volt, and now Tri-5 Dave has bought another 57 Chevrolet. I think this makes 7 for him that neither run nor drive. We got it in Big Springs, Texas last summer during a road trip. It's missing everything, so he shipped it here to Flying Sparks Garage. And back there, we are going to see the car really for the first time, because when he bought it, it was nighttime, it was in the dark. And so over the next 2 or 3 days with our friends Aaron and Emily, we're going to get it running roadkill style, get on the road and go back to where we got the car from so we can get all of the junk that's missing from that 57 Chevy.
Well, long story short, I ended up buying from a guy named Dickie Jones, and the goal for this week is to get it running after like 30 years. I hadn't really seen the car in great detail, so hopefully in like 2 or 3 days we can stab a motor and transmission in this thing and I get it on the road.
It looks better in the daylight.
It really does.
In the dark, you really couldn't tell how straight it was.
It's not bad at all, dude.
No.
I mean, yes, it's missing lots of things, but overall, yeah, minimal patchwork in the floors there, considering it's not missing the whole thing, but.
If it was good enough for Fred Flintstone.
So last I heard, Dickie said he went through the whole chassis and put new ball joints and bushings and everything on it. So hopefully there's, not a lot to do down there. Shove a motor and trans in it, drive shaft, and go.
Dude, you can tell he worked on it. Look, he's already installed the steering wheel and the power windows.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. All right, why don't we push it inside the shed?
It rolls, that's a good thing. There we go. That looked good.
Perfect. You guys know Aaron and Emily. They've been on Roadkill before, a bunch of times, actually.
Handful, yeah.
And they were kind enough to let us invade the Flying Sparks Garage. We will have this thing running in no more than 10 or 12 days. Like, none of this is rotten.
No, the firewall, untouched. When we bought this car, I didn't even look in the trunk. And there's just random parts in here. But luckily, I have all the years, so this will fit something I own, which is good. Oh, that's sweet.
For the steering wheel, right?
Steering wheel. That's the horn.
Sick.
On back. Perfect. Tell me about the engine.
So here's our small block Chevrolet. I pulled this out of my buddy Brandon's C10, and it's complete. I left everything on it. Carburetor, it's got a 4-barrel Holly on it, the alternator, the belt, the fan, everything is complete. We should be able to drop this in the 57, put the distributor in, and fire it up. The trans, it's a turbo 350, it has a shift kit. This thing's got a small camshaft in it, dual plane intake. Hopefully, we can do some burnouts.
Nice thing about working on a car from Texas that's unfinished is the parts virtually fall off the car themselves.
Yes.
It's like quick release. It's not all stuck together with rust. Let me just save your life here.
Coming in hot.
Now, all right, I need 2 3/8 bolts.
It's sliding. Ooh, it's gonna come off.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. All right, go back, if it'll go.
It's up against something.
Oh, okay, yeah, I like it, come on.
Here we go. We were gonna just use a ratchet strap and/or a chain to hold this motor, and then it occurred to me, might as well just start to build out with some quality and make a motor mount for this side of the engine, because we only have one. And without the other one, the fuel pump sits on the cross member, which is no good. That's our engine mount. It's cosmetic, but it makes me feel better.
So I pulled the valve cover off, just a quick way of, letting you know that you're on top dead center. I got the timing mark ready down here, and both these valves are closed. So I know I'm on the compression stroke. So now I can put the distributor in. Hopefully it clears, because this firewall is super nice on this car. It's probably the nicest part of the car, so I'm not gonna beat it to clear it in the HEI distributor.
Oh, that's close. Will the cap go on? I think it might, dude.
We're good.
We can put the headers in next, put the carb on.
Yeah. It is a bone stock HEI distributor, electronic ignition, one wire. It'll run.
Nice carbonator.
Man, we are rolling. Motor and trans are in. The guys are wiring right now, putting gauges in. I'm about to install a fuse panel. It's by Auto Rod Controls. This is race car stuff. It is a relay and fuse panel all in one with this trick switch panel, which is backlit even when the car is turned on.
I think that should be adequate for Roadkill.
Relay 1 will be ignition. Relay 2 will be starter solenoid. 3 and 4, headlights.
Man, we are making some serious progress. The engine is bolted in permanently. We've got new plugs in it, the distributor's in it. Emily's got the gauges handled, the fuse panel mounted inside. We've started wiring the car. One hiccup so far, the master cylinder that I ordered is not correct. It's for a power booster, and this doesn't have power brakes. So we've got to find that.
Maybe that one will just start working.
The cap will not come off, but I'm going to fix it with fire. I don't know, we'll see.
It's an archaeological dig in there, dude.
Like new.
Does the pedal move?
Of course not.
I think we should fill it completely and let it sit overnight. I'm gonna call this the most successful day one in the history of Roadkill.
Really?
Yeah, that car was outside without a motor, and now it's inside with a motor and a transmission and gauges and a switch panel and a fuse block, and nothing's on fire yet. So, complete success. Tomorrow we make it run.
It is day 2, and man, we got a lot done on day 1. The brakes are questionable. I put some fluid in the master cylinder last night to hopefully see if it would gravity feed out, but nothing happened. So a local parts store says they can have one by lunchtime today. We got to get it on the lift and measure for the draft shaft next, but I mean, it's looking pretty good. It's time to measure for the draft shaft. I ordered a complete kit from Summit Racing. It comes with a longer tube, the yoke for the rear, the slip yoke for the trans, everything you need. All right, I'm on the center.
53.5.
So now we will take this, drop this off at the draft shaft shop, have them cut and weld it and balance it.
This car does not have a shifter. So I'm putting one in, and I'm taking advantage of the fact that the car's in the air right now so that I can put the cable mount on the transmission.
Well, it's bone dry, which I'm not surprised. So now I just want to put some fuel in it to flush if there's any rust in there, which I know there is. I got the fuel line disconnected from the tank back here, and I'm certain it's got to have something in the line because it's been open up front for 30 years. So I'm going to blow some air through it. We've put some brake clean in there, and hopefully any trash that's in there comes out.
Oh, he's right here. Oh yeah, watch, I'll clog it. So that's clogged. Do it again. Oh yeah, dirt's coming out, dude. Do it again.
I feel good about it. We'll have 3 filters. Our master cylinder has came in. It looks to be the correct one. We're about to find out. I'm gonna hook up the brake line, and then once I put fluid in it, we'll try and gravity bleed these fronts just to see what happens. That'll tell us if the rubber portion of the brake lines are okay, which I'm assuming they're probably not.
Thanks for giving me a job, noobs.
Of course. All right, hold it.
Holding.
Good news, 3 out of the 4 wheel cylinders are actually functioning, but we are getting air out of three of the 4. Look what I got.
Headers.
That's right. I can't say what they are, but just say tubes of the night.
Stole my joke. Keep going.
Feel good about it.
That's a lot of poop.
Whoa, it's not fresh.
So we went to the parts store to search for a brake line, and they had the rear. It looks very similar to the front, so I'm going to try and put it on the front. There you go. The rear brake line on the front. Works perfect. Pump, pump, pump it up.
Pump it up.
All right, hold it. Oh!
Dang.
All right, good sign. All right, pump it up. How's it feel?
Feels like it would stop a car.
We're officially done with the brakes. All 4 corners are working right now, today. We'll check back tomorrow.
Where are we at? It looks like it wants to run.
Brakes are functional, headers are on, the wiring's done, fuel line is done. Only thing that's left is the throttle pedal.
Why not make that factory connection point connect to our Holley carburetor with the only thing I have laying around, which is brake line?
I love it.
Hey, Em, why don't you try that gas pedal for us?
Does it work?
Oh, yeah.
It works great.
It's wide open. It's wide open.
Perfect.
All right, it is time to put the wheels on the 57, and these may look familiar, what it was rolling on. These are off the vet cart when we took it rally racing. These are just to roll the car around because it didn't have any wheels and tires on it when I bought it. So we're gonna ditch these and install a set of Rocket racing wheels. These are 15x4s on the front. The backs are 15x7s, I believe. I guessed on the back spacing. Rear tires are a BFG 255/70/15. Front tires are a Mickey Thompson Sportsman, you know, little skinny. I like the pattern, that's why I went with these. They look kind of old school, nostalgic. So right now we're gonna mount them. Oh boy.
Don't worry.
Oh God.
Don't worry. That's one. Oh, yeah.
All right, so having trouble seating the tire on the bead of the rim, and we're gonna use the old trick, starting fluid, spray some in there, running up the sidewall. Aaron's gonna light it. Hopefully it explodes and seals and all is well. You know, it could go bad. That's why we're outside.
I see hoses, I see wires, I see an engine. Newburn's laying on the floor.
I'm ready. Okay.
And give it a little air. Just a little. There we go. It's alive. And we have oil pressure.
Give me some timing.
Don't run it too long because there's no drive shaft. That pickup mimight be clogged. Like, it probably worked for a little bit, and then it sucked whatever trash or the sock up in there, and now we're getting no fuel.
So let's call it a successful day.
All right, let it be known that on day 2, Flying Sparks Garage and the Roadkill crew have made this car run again. And on day 3, it's gonna move out of here.
Absolutely.
Guaranteed.
That 307 sounds rowdy.
It does. Let's go drink. Well, it's day 3. The build's going good. Day 2, we got a lot of work done, and it culminated with a pretty severe fuel delivery issue. And when we got into the shop this morning, I think we found the source of that fuel delivery issue because it's right there on the floor. We're guessing that the factory hardline somewhere between here and there has got a hole in it, which is why this thing didn't want to draw fuel out of the tank. So today we began with putting the car up in the air, cleaning the fuel leak up, and opening the doors, letting all the air conditioning out of the shop so that we don't suffocate. One spark and we might actually lose the shop. It is very rusty right there. Let's just run a rubber fuel line from the front of the car all the way to the back of the car and bypass all the rusty fuel line that's in here.
Perfect.
This is the wrong way to do this. You don't want to run this much rubber line from front to back in your automobile, but in the roadkill world, it is the most efficient way. New fuel line's in. We're gonna try to fire it again because we really never heard it run great. We're either out of gas or the pickup is also clogged. It's not picking up any fuel. So either there's nothing left in the tank because it leaked out on the floor, or maybe the sock at the bottom of the pickup is just clogged or something.
The tank's probably full of rust anyway.
Probably full of rust. I mean, the fuel line was rusted out, so.
Does it have any cracks in it?
It's got stuff in it.
It's probably water. That should work.
Well, look at that. While Newbern and I were out at the hardware store getting metal to patch the floors and bolts to make sure the doors don't fall off, Emily and Aaron found the perfect fuel cell for this car. I believe it looks like it's numbers matching and has virtually the same patina as the body of our hot rod.
That's right.
Yeah, I almost washed it, but then I remembered who it was for, and I was
don't
like,
do that.
no,
Don't do that.
it can't be clean.
All right, so a couple of ratchet straps, run a hose from there to there, barb fitting, and we can once again try to start the car.
I'm gonna put the drive shaft in.
All right.
Sweet. Man, look how pretty it is. So we know it's gonna be good.
Boom.
All right, so Aaron and I are putting the front bumper on. I had to borrow Aaron's off of his car. And then once we get this part done, we can put the grill in it. So what's left? You got the floor pans done, seat, shifter, steering. The factory steering shaft on a Tri-5 is all one piece. And it's got a column that slides around it with bearings to support it. Well, I'm missing half of it. So what we're gonna do is gonna cut the shaft down here, install like an aftermarket deal, not where it's supposed to be, but we're just gonna make it work. You know, it'll get us to Big Spring, Texas. Get that off me.
Oh, sorry. You get that Satan stick out of my face. I hope we don't need any of the wires that are in behind this dash because I'm bumping into all of them.
It looks rad.
The seat's in, steering's done, brakes are done. I just got like a little B&M shifter, little 3-speed deal. It's gonna mount right there in the floor. It's cool looking. It fits kind of the era of the 60s and 70s hot rods. We're gonna cut a hole in the floor. Are those bolts long enough?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dudes, we've done so much work in the last 3 days. I'm fired up. If it will go through the gears and has fuel pressure and sounds decent, I say we just mosey on out there. See what happens.
With you. Let's do it.
Filter's still dry.
Let's bottle feed it a little bit.
Okay, here we go.
There's still no fuel.
Why did it die as soon as I put it in reverse?
Yeah.
It's probably the brakes, just being so tight.
We're having this weird problem right now where when he puts it in gear, the motor shuts off. I know what it is. We were retarding it, and we thought we were advancing it. So when you go and put it in gear, it wouldn't take the load and it wouldn't run. And
So right now we're having problems timing this thing. It's acting really funny. It's when you put it in gear, it dies immediately. So we're gonna pull up top dead center again and make sure the rotor is in fact pointed at the #1 cylinder.
Again, intake valve is opening. Again, intake valve is closing. The truth is, the old finger in the hole trick is sort of accurate, but not exactly accurate. And we are seriously questioning that we're timing this motor off the mark on the balancer that is actually at top dead center. So what we're gonna do now is shove this coat hanger in the cylinder, put it on top of the piston, and as the engine is rotated and the piston comes all the way up, we're gonna have a visual mark to show us, hey, it's at top dead center, and then we're gonna look at the balancer and go, are we actually pointing the timing light at the correct mark? And is that distributor rotor pointed at the right cylinder? I don't think it is, but we're gonna check that out right now. Okay, hold it. So now the piston's dwelling, and the rotor is pointed way over there. Our timing mark has disappeared, but look, real faint. Right there on the balancer is an entire another timing mark. This is the one we need to be timing off of, and we need to take the distributor out, rotate it, put it back in, point that there, and put the plug wires back on where they need to go, and everything should be good after that. Go past it a little bit. There you go. Hold it down.
Let's bump. Okay.
Okay.
So we're trying another carburetor right now. This come off their truck called Garfield. It's off in 65 C20 or C30.
69.
C20.
The engine came out of a 69 C10, so should make a pretty good combo there now.
It's practically numbers matching.
That's right.
Now it's a race car.
That's right.
Okay, is it in gear? Foot on the brake. Okay, let off. Foot on the brake. That's weird, dude. Okay, cut it off.
All right, it revs better, sounds better, but we still have this issue where when you put the trans in gear and step on the brakes, the engine slows way down and wants to die. Uber's pissed. It is day 4 of the build. We technically should be on the road and we're not, and that's because we now need to pull our transmission out and replace the converter that we think might be a problem. The converter seems to be constantly coupled to the engine, so you drop the trans in drive and the engine stalls. So first things first, drive shaft out, trans down, change the converter. That solves the problem. Put the windshield in, hit the road.
Keep going.
One more.
Had to lower it down.
Going down with it.
Keep on coming.
Okay. Making a beautiful mess. Yes. Oh, wow. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Oh, wow.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
This wall is...
Oh boy. Okay.
Just pull the trans back so I can flatten this thing out. Thank you.
People at home are just watching this show, just shaking their heads.
While we have the converter out, I went ahead and got a new TCI flex plate to put in here. And once we get this in here, I'll check the engagement from the starter and make sure that's good, because it was like a 50-50 chance whether this thing would turn over or not. So we're gonna fix it right now. This is our old torque converter. This was in that turbo 350 behind a 406, and I don't know what stall speed it is. This is a new one from B&M. It's a 3200 stall. It should work in theory, but we're about to find out. There you go. She's in. Like that.
Okay, we need a drive shaft, and then we need a test drive.
3, 2, 1. Nice. Time to go down to Funky Town or the street to break down.
This would be carburetor number 3. This is a quick fuel, vacuum secondary, 650 CFM carburetor. It is a 4150 style carb with cathedral bowls. We're hoping it just runs and works, and with our new converter, the car doesn't stall anymore. I see fuel in the filter. I see fuel.
Oh, it's coming up. All right, all right, all right.
Fuel in the bowl, go ahead.
All right, ready?
Yeah, man. Aww. It is fixed, dude.
It's freaking fixed.
It sounds pretty good, too. Let's roll.
That is sporty. It's moving. It's moving. Good. Sounds good. gears. All right, our brakes are leaking, and it's probably the 30 or 40-year-old wheel cylinders for the drum brakes that need replacing. Second gear. There's no third gear. We got 2 gears. Okay, pull over here. Check the fluid level. Okay. Well, our first test drive went really good. As long as you have 0 interest in a transmission that'll shift to the 3rd gear or brakes that fully function. It's maybe half a quart low. I don't think that's enough to stop it from shifting. The trans not going into 3rd gear is an issue because we're not driving on the highway with it like that. Well, let's go back to Emily and Aaron's because the brakes need fixing too. Not a bad test drive for 40 years sitting in the dirt.
Just waiting to gear.
That's weird. Now we got 3rd gear.
Yeah.
All right. So then fix the brakes.
Yeah.
One less problem.
There it is.
So we're trying to get out of here, and it's kind of late at night. The car is so damn loud, we cannot hear each other at all. So I'm gonna add some pipe here. We're gonna try and hang some mufflers under here at least so we can have some decent conversation while we're driving.
So we just spent all night crafting an exhaust system from dryer ducting, hose clamps, and an aluminized exhaust tubing, and 2 mufflers off of an Australian Holden Monaro. Let's see how it sounds. Oh, much better. Much better. Success.
It sounds quite good.
It's got a little rumble.
Yeah, it's been a long day. Tomorrow we road trip. Let's go.
It's way quieter. That sounds good.
Yeah? Nice work, everybody. It is day 5 after our long night of building a makeshift exhaust. I believe it's finally time to go, and I expect 0 issues for the rest of this trip.
Nothing. We're good.
Let's go to Dickie's. Let's go. All right, I have a seat belt. I got a ratchet strap holding the battery, a ratchet strap holding the fuel cell, coat hangers holding up the exhaust, a motor we don't know anything about. Let's drive 350 miles. And here we go. Getting on the highway for the first time in 40 years. I don't want to fall out. All right, that is 53 miles an hour.
This thing rides good.
Yeah, man. You can't beat American craftsmanship from the 50s. Look at how solid this is, you know?
Yeah. Oil pressure is good. The volts are good. Water temperature is great.
So we're driving down the road, and it just starts running really bad. It won't take throttle. Feels like it's starving for fuel. And I just looked at the fuel filter, and there's definitely trash inside of it. So maybe it's as simple as putting a new filter in it, and we keep on trucking. I tell you, today it's Newbern's birthday. Happy birthday.
The big 26.
She's completely restored now.
Oh, man.
Let's go for a ride.
It was dirty.
Yeah. Pretty sure that was just a clogged fuel filter, which we just changed in the parking lot. Seems back to normal, right?
Yeah.
Engine's running, doors flopping. Let's go. We've got another 300 miles to go today. Fuel filter? Let's see, at that rate, we'll need a fuel filter about every 40 miles. Yeah, shady spot. Guess it wasn't the filter.
So what I have noticed is when it goes under a load, it's when it starts to spit and pop. So if I had to guess, it's probably the coil.
Yep, or the module. Start taking it apart.
That's right. I got a lot of experience with these things.
So for now, we changed the coil. And if that doesn't work, we will change the module because those tend to fail also, so.
That's hot.
All our problems about to be solved. Huh.
Good shot.
Fell right on there.
Woohoo! Try and fire it up.
Ignition.
Hold on. Okay, it's definitely not fuel. Let's put a module in it.
All right, well, obviously the coil didn't fix it, so now we're gonna undo everything we just did, remove the coil, remove the cap, remove the rotor, and underneath the rotor is an electronic ignition module. This is a high energy ignition distributor. The coil, the ignition controller, everything's built into it, no external boxes, and those things die all the time from like vibration and stuff, so. I'm gonna go with everything we did added some sort of positive measure of success, and then it just decided, you know what? These boys have worked hard enough. It's 90 degrees out. Let's just clear up and run. See? Look at that.
Yeah, sounds better.
Right? Seems legit now. But for how long?
Died.
Oh, that was brief. All right, well, let's put a fuel pump in it. Yeah, I don't think there's much fuel in that filter, and it's just kind of spurting into it. Yeah, it's not pumping, man. So far, everything we've tried has not worked. Now we're putting a fuel pump in it. This pump is different than our old one, and now our fuel line won't connect to it because that is not the same thread as that. Now we need to go to the parts store again. Happy birthday. So we went to the auto parts store, found the fitting for a fuel pump. We also bought an electric fuel pump just in case this gives us problems. The issue we have now is the fuel pump push rod has slid down inside the engine block and is now laying up against the side of the block. It should be pushing here. The rod is down here. So this can't go in to cover up the hole and allow us to install an electric fuel pump and bypass all this. Can you give me another screwdriver? I just pried it up. All right, good news. I got the fuel pump push rod to go back up in the engine block and it feels nice and smooth. So now Newbern is gonna attempt to just fill that cavity with silicone. And
It's so damn hot, this doesn't do anything.
all right.
We're giving up. The motor is so scorching hot, it won't stay up in there. We've tried everything. We're gonna cut the arm off the old fuel pump, bolt it back up there as like a fuel block-off plate because we couldn't find one at the parts store, and we've got an electric pump, we're gonna put that back on there, so.
The push rod will be off the cam lobe.
Yeah.
No danger there. And we'll be able to get the pump on there, cover up the hole so we don't have an oil leak. Electric fuel pump that we know, well, we assume should work, and we're out of here. This is a decent solution. We don't have any power tools, but we do have a fence and an adjustable wrench. I just need to figure out the right way to place this in here. What I'm trying to do is break off the pump rod. Once that's out of the way, we can bolt this to the block, and it doesn't matter that the push rod is dropped down here and is in our way.
All right, well, Finnegan is trying to block off our original fuel pump. I'm gonna put this little inline deal right up front, which is not ideal. You want it as close to the tank as possible. I'm gonna wire it into the headlights and pray that we get there before dark.
Boom. I think we're good. I think she's sufficiently mangled.
All right, I got the rest.
Fuel pump?
Flow this way. I got the hose ready down here.
That's all that stands between us and the open road, but connecting two wires, power and ground. We're gonna steal it from the headlights. All right, why don't you hit the button? We'll see if fuel goes in that thing.
Okay.
Oh, better. All right, on the road again.
What, it shut off? What?
Dead.
It's gotta be electrical.
I don't get it. We changed the fuel. It ran great for a second. Driving up the road, shuts off. Like we've turned the ignition switch off. So now we are going to bypass this fuse panel down here, go straight from the HEI distributor straight to the battery, and, you know, see what happens at this point.
If this doesn't do it, I'm taking the distributor out of this thing.
Let's go one more mile. All right, let's put the distributor in.
All right, let's put the distributor in. Under the bridge, under the bridge.
I'm going.
Well, our goal of 1 mile might have been a little overly optimistic. We made it about 300 feet. That distributor is probably junk. And either the pickup's gone bad or something's happening, but we're gonna replace it right here, right now. And hope that solves our problem. Because at this point, I think Newbern's ready to push this car off a cliff.
I'm taking it back where it belongs.
Just throw that thing as far as you can.
So this is an off-the-counter HEI distributor. It's a little better than stock.
It's for their Street Fire lineup.
Yes.
It's definitely better than stock. Ready to bump it?
Oh. Okay.
That's the best it's sounded. No more hesitation. Well, except for that little one.
Yeah.
Dude, so much smoother now. Sounds great. Was that you? No, really? You've got to be kidding me.
What is wrong with this?
There's literally nothing left. We have voltage, and it just shut. Wow. Now there's no fuel in the filter again. Do we have one problem? Do we have two problems? I have no freaking idea. I'm just trying to get this man to a steak dinner for his birthday, and this car does not want that to happen. Rev it up.
It won't take it.
I don't think there's any fuel in it.
I'm a little confused at this point. So the factory tank in this car had some rust in it. We were having trouble getting fuel to the motor. So we put a used fuel cell that Emily and Aaron had in the trunk of it and ran fuel out of it. Now we think the pickup in that tank is no good, so we're going back to the original tank because the fuel pump was probably the problem the whole time. I think we're gonna be okay.
3 hours later.
I'm just kidding.
Happy birthday, you son of a... It drives good. It rides good. Like,
Yeah, it does.
we didn't touch the suspension. We didn't align it.
No,
It just floats down the road.
it does good.
Emergency alert, National Weather Service. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect for this area until 7:45 tonight.
We're going right into it. We're gonna be storm chasers.
Yeah, let's do it. Well, today went about as well as you'd expect, which means it was incredible. We managed to get the car over 200 miles down Texas highways. Of course, broke down a bunch because old car, and we're really not very good at this. But in the end, we did figure out all of our problems. We fixed them. And now we are just 75 or 80 miles away from Dickie's spot, where the car came from and where we intend to go back and pick up more parts to make this a more complete hot rod. We'll do that tomorrow. Last day of the trip. The factory gas tank is now clogging the fuel filter, much like the used fuel cell was clogging the fuel filter. We're not gonna switch back. What we are gonna do is change the filters. And just so you know, or in case you were worried that, we went too far on this one, that we spent all the money, bought all the parts, and, polished this turd too much, trust me, we didn't. We haven't restored it at all. That's numbers matching rust. Still present. We didn't get rid of it. I think she's fixed.
Ish.
Let's go to Dickie's.
Let's go.
We're gonna make it. If nothing goes wrong, we should be able to get there without stopping for fuel again. Come on, car. We can do this.
Just think about this. This is where this car came from. It probably crossed this bridge or drove down this road at one point in its life.
Think of this, dude. This car sat around in Dickie's yard for 4 decades, and thanks to Aaron and Emily, we're here. We just drove it 350 miles through the Texas desert. Don't die now, we're almost there.
I see it.
I see it. I recognize this. That's right where your hardtop was parked.
Oh, dude. Wow. That's one of his cars.
Wow. Dickie restored all these for himself.
I am.
We made it! Woo!
This is my happy place. This is where it all started. Early last year, I passed by this place on the interstate and saw this yard. I stopped, gave Dickie a call, ended up buying a hardtop that was sitting right here in this spot. That's where it all began. And we always kept in touch, and unfortunately, earlier this year, he passed away, and his wife, Linda, gave me the opportunity to come back in here and pick through some more cars to save. And so I did. I bought 4 more from here, and one of which we just drove right back to this very spot. I cannot wait to get back in there and look around.
I'm stoked for Newbern. He is so fired up, feeding for a hit of more Tri-5 stuff.
Like, I guarantee you open that, there's parts filled in there.
Or Chupacabra.
Steering columns and trim.
No Chupacabra.
Let's save them.
The mother lode, dude.
Look at these tires. They're like new. They have the little pricklies on them. Look, Goodyears. Look at that. That is so cool.
The sheds are the key. That's where he's hiding all the good stuff. Here's the thing. 40 years from now, when this world has really gone mad, and every junkyard from California to New York City is littered with hybrid cars, no one's gonna be going in there and saying, ooh, look at that plastic wheel simulator, and oh man, I can't wait to get that plastic dashboard for my Toyota Prius. It's just not gonna happen. But classics, like these 57 Chevys, are still out there. They're in barns and bushes and basements, and the parts to bring these cars back to life are everywhere. You just need your friends, some tools, a little bit of money and some time, and you can restore and revive automotive history, put it on the highway, and that's the kind of recycling that this planet needs. Thanks for watching Roadkill.
All right, so we're here with Linda. This is Dickie's wife. And if you'll notice, there's pictures and memorabilia all around the shop.
For years, he built out of that garage. Like to give David a little memento for honoring Dickie. My granddaughter, Tabitha, made this for a birthday present. And thank you for honoring him in all the ways you have.
That is so awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's got my receipt for the hardtop I bought in there. Oh my God.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. That is so cool.